Hello, it's Charles with Uber Eats. Today is Sunday, the 14th of December, 2025, and I am blessed and grateful because God gave me that precious gift of tomorrow with His wake-up call, and I got to see another day here in beautiful, sunny Tampa, Florida. And you're equally blessed as me because you received that precious gift of tomorrow with God's wake-up call today, and you also got to see another day here on earth. Tomorrow is a precious gift to receive because not everybody got God's wake-up call today and got to see another day. So I, for one, am very appreciative and feel blessed for that precious gift and the opportunity to get out and do what I want with my life and see people and do things that make me happy. And I'm going to most definitely do that this Sunday, the 14th of December. And I encourage you all out there to do the same, to make the most of today. Do whatever makes you happy. And first and foremost, I think you should be grateful and feel blessed for that opportunity with that precious gift of tomorrow that you received this morning. Amen to that. God is good. God is great. Always and always. Amen. I ended the day in a part of town I'd never been to before. I've been close to it. I delivered at least 2 or 3 times, different times down in St. Petersburg, but I had at least one delivery in Clearwater Beach. So that was an entirely new experience. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up any runs that would take me back to close to where my camper was. I made enough down there to justify, being there. It was fine, but if I had my choice and if I had the opportunity to go down there, and only when the app sends me down there is the only way I'm going to end up driving down there. Those restaurants, at least the ones in Clearwater that I could see, don't lend themselves to opportunities to drive, to travel back towards the camper. They don't. The people up near Temple Terrace in the area where I live in Tampa Bay, they don't patronize those types of restaurants, if that makes sense. It's all locals. So it's not even St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and what was that other? There was another city I picked up a restaurant in. I wrote it down here. Yeah, it was Kenneth City, Clearwater, and St. Petersburg. For the most part, people that are eating at those restaurants are all local. So it's not going to be the type of situation where I'm picking up food and traveling back anywhere near my part of town. So in the future, I'm going to do my best to avoid those types of pickups. Now, yesterday, it was the type of situation where I was just gradually getting closer to, the beaches, St. Petersburg. I don't mind delivering to Apollo Beach. I do quite well there, and it's not nearly as far away from my camper as even St. Petersburg or Clearwater's, beach. So I don't mind delivering and doing pickups in Apollo Beach because the drive isn't all that far back. And every time I've ended the day in Apollo Beach, I've always had a pickup that at least takes me, I've always done my last delivery that takes me at least halfway back towards my camper. So I've always benefited, and it's always been a great situation delivering in Apollo Beach, but I didn't care much for delivering in Clearwater and St. Petersburg. I didn't make more money down there. You would think, being close to the beach and that type of area in Tampa Bay, you'd make more money, but I make it just as well in Temple Terrace, the Notasasa, even out into the country, Zephyr Hills. I do fine out there. I do fine off of MLK and Gandy Boulevard and, all these areas. So unless the app, migrates me out towards the beaches, I'm not going to make a point to go out there just to make more money, because the money isn't necessarily there. I do quite well delivering in Tampa City and Temple Terrace area. You know, I'm doing fine here. So I'm gonna do my best in the future to stay out here, you know, in the parts of town that I'm familiar with. And I've developed a familiarity with my customers here. I've had several repeat customers that I know of. You know, some I've repeated that I'm not even aware of, but a lot of the customers at this point, I remember being at their houses, and I've built up kind of a rapport with them. So I don't want to lose that by, you know, getting more familiar with other parts of town. I like the part of town I'm delivering in, and I want to keep at that. I went on to weatheratlas.com this morning to find out about the sunrise time and sundown time. And according to weatheratlas.com, the sun will rise today at 7:11 a.m. and the time right now is 3:54 a.m. So that means we've got 3 hours and 17 minutes until the sun comes up here in Tampa, Florida. And according to that weather-atlas.com, the sun will set tonight. Sundown time is 5:37 p.m. So that's 10 hours and 26 minutes of daylight here in Tampa, Florida. I've been into the Circle K already, and I got my free ice in there in my Frazzle cup. I think I left about 2 inches of room at the top to take this can. I went with Monster Rehab, the tea and lemonade variety. Monster Rehab Refresh, Revive, Recover. I've got roughly 5 cans of this, 5 of the peach, 3 green, and 5 of the wild berry left. I've got just enough to get me through the 31st of December. And then after that, I'll have to buy more cans, or I won't have anything to drink on the 1st of January 2026. This can has the date of J2508, and J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. So this can was just made in October the 8th of this year. So that makes it 2 months and 6 days old, I think. Yeah, 2 months, 6 days old. So it's a very fresh can. I'm going to go ahead and crack it open because I'm dry. I need something to drink. Haven't had anything to drink since about 9 o'clock last night. And I do have a straw. I picked up some straws at, it was a steak place. I think it was Steak and Shake. So I'm good on straws for a little bit. Oh, that's good. I checked out gas prices, and at this Circle K, I'm sitting up at one of the pumps right now. This Circle K is showing the gas prices went down even further here at this Circle K. Yesterday, the gas price here was $2.59, and it's went down 2 more cents to $2.57. And AAA is showing that the gas prices went down 2 cents also in the state of Florida. The state of Florida's gas price was $2.80 yesterday, Saturday morning, and this morning, Sunday morning, it's down 2 more cents to $2.78. So that means this Circle K is better than the Florida state average by 21 cents. And AAA is showing that the national price of gas has went down 2 cents also. So each 3 places went down 2 cents. It's now at $2.91 for the national average. That means this Circle K is better than the national average by 34 cents. And I didn't check it this morning, but I forgot to mention, for the first time that I've noticed, at least since I've been checking this out, Florida's state average beat Ohio's state average. Ohio yesterday was $2.83. The average price of gas in Ohio was $2.83, and it was $2.80 in Florida. So Florida beat Ohio yesterday by 3 cents. I didn't check that today. It's probably still the case, because it's with gas prices being even cheaper today, it's most likely that it's that the margin is even wider today, unless something drastically changed in Ohio from Saturday. I also checked my other metrics. I checked Google, Reddit, and Uber Eats. The only thing that changed with my Reddit or Google was my picture views. I didn't have any Reddit. I didn't even get on there to read anything. I was quite busy with the app yesterday. It kept me busy. Of course, naturally it should have, with it being a Saturday, and I'm hoping for just as great business today on the app Sunday. I hope so. My earnings were fantastic, and I'm well on track to having enough saved up on the 2nd of February, Monday the 2nd of February, to buy my new car. So everything is going great earnings wise, and I'm enjoying some fantastic weather here in Tampa, Florida. Loving the weather. But the only thing that's changed with Reddit and Google are my picture views, and it's big news. I'm now over 3 million views as a local Guide 7. I'm at 3,005,538. So that's a change of over almost 5,800 views. And I'm so happy I got past that 3 million picture view mark. That's huge. My next one, of course, is 4 million, but it feels like it took such a long time to get from 2 million to 3 million. So I probably most likely have a while to wait, but who knows it? With every new set of pictures I put on there, it increases the rate at which at the picture views go up. So it might not be all that long. It's hard to tell. I may hit it by the summertime, which would be much quicker than I hit this 3 million view mark. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. And my Uber Eats numbers all improved yesterday. Even my on-time score got even better. Friday, as of Thursday's business, I was at 84%. After Friday's business, I was at 85%. And then as of Saturday's business, this Sunday, I'm at 87% on-time score. So my score's improved back-to-back 3 or 4 days in a row now. So I'm very thrilled with that. And I'm getting great offers through the app. So it's all working out. And I don't foresee my numbers dipping back down below 80%. I don't see how that could happen. Unless I end up out in the country where I'm getting back-to-back Walmart orders that I have to decline. That's the only circumstance that I can foresee causing that to happen. So I need to do my best to avoid many deliveries that will take me out past Thonota Sasa, out towards Dade City, Zephyr Hills, and stuff like this. I don't mind taking a few out there, but once I'm out there more than a few hours, I need to look at opportunities that will take me back into the city, Tampa, Florida, to avoid that circumstance, because that's what happened to me. I was out in the country and I had back-to-back several Walmart orders that I had to decline, and that sent my acceptance score down into the 30s, and it was hard getting it back up over 50%. But it seems like as soon as I got it over 50%, better orders started coming in, and then after that, my acceptance score just skyrocketed up to this 85%. So again, that was very happy with that, and my on-time score has improved to 87%. It looks like I had 2 people give me star ratings yesterday, because all my metrics went up by 2. I'm now at 565 comments saying I delivered food to their door with great care. That's a change of 2 from yesterday. I had 2 more people say I was friendly with my service. I have 507 upvotes there total. 496 stars saying I'm a quick and efficient. That's a change of 2 from yesterday. Good communicator went up 2 to 475, and perfect handoff is still an area of opportunity of mine. I need to work on delivering with a perfect handoff. 464 upvotes there from 462 as of Friday's business. Saturday's business brought me up 2 more, perfect handoff, to 464. I went on to the Powerball website, And I did not hit a single number from the drawing that was held last night, Saturday, December 13th. No one hit the jackpot, the grand prize, because the jackpot is now at 1.1 billion for tomorrow's drawing, which is the 15th, I believe. Yeah. 15th of December, it's at 1.1 billion. So today I'm going to buy another ticket, most likely at the Circle K. Once they're able to sell me a ticket after 6, I'm going to pop in there and buy a ticket, so I don't have to worry about running out of time and getting past that deadline. I think you have up until 10 p.m. The night of the drawing to buy a ticket if you're in that time zone, in the right time zone. The numbers that came in last night, Saturday the 13th, was 1, 28, 31, 57, 58, and the Powerball was 10. And I played my normal numbers of 14, 22, 25, 37, 49, and 23 Powerball. So I didn't hit a single number on there. I didn't get back to the camper in time to catch any of Paul Delegato's forecast or any of the news, for that matter, mostly because I was out near the beaches. I was in St. Petersburg, Clearwater, like I said, and it took me, that's another thing, the drive from there is so far, and when you're not catching a delivery that's at least going to take you halfway back to where you need to end up in your part of town, and you're not getting anything I didn't get anything benefit. There wasn't any benefit from me being out there in terms of earnings. So that's another reason, the distance, the time it took me to get back to, the camper where I sleep at night, and I broke my fast last night, at the halal food truck. So, that's just another reason why I don't prefer to deliver out there. It's such a far drive. And even getting on the freeway, it took me nearly an hour to get back to my part of town. So that's another reason why I don't prefer to deliver out there. I did go on to weatheratlas.com to check out its weather report, and it said today in Tampa, the 14th of December, Sunday, we can expect partly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies with a high of 79 and a low of 61, and an east wind of 6 miles an hour on Saturday. And then in Tampa, Sunday, and in Tampa, sun and clouds will shine, sun and clouds will share the sky, creating a partly cloudy day. These highs and low temperatures better represent typical November temps than December temperatures. And then Meta AI said that Tampa's weather is looking great. It's partly cloudy with a high of 79 and a low of 61. That's exactly the forecast that was delivered on weatheratlas.com. So both of those are reliable resources thus far. They are. Meta AI went on to say that you can expect light winds and a 10% chance of rain in Tampa. Weatheratlas.com made no mention of any rain events. So that's additional, better information that's provided by Meta AI. And Meta AI has remained a good resource for getting weather reports. Unlike Gemini, which started off being okay, it had that scroll bar at the bottom where you could scroll across and look at the next days and even into the next week. They took that scroll bar away, so I don't care for how Gemini carries out its weather reporting, and I don't like it as a resource for getting the news either. So like I said, I deactivated it, and I'm not going to use it as a resource anymore for anything. And then 10 Tampa Bay, YouTube 10 Tampa Bay, I checked that out. Dave Osterberg was on there. He said that we're going to see a high of 77 and a low of 55. And that low, again, is quite different than what Meta AI and weatheratlas.com said. It's 6 degrees off from both of those reportings. But the high temperature is very similar to what the other two reported. It's only 2 degrees off. Partly sunny skies, and he said another cold front is coming through tonight going into Monday. So, but he's not anticipating any rain with that cold front. It's just going to make for a more chilly Monday morning when I get up out of the camper tomorrow. So I need to prepare for that. My handwriting was messy most of the day yesterday, which is not typical for me. I'm normally, if my handwriting is going to be bad, it gets bad as the day progresses and into the night. But my handwriting was quite poor most of the day, and it seems like I have to, if I concentrate on what I'm doing and I slow down and think about what I'm writing, my handwriting's better. But I never used to be that way. I used to just not even have to think about it and just write out, and I feel for a boy, I always had very good penmanship, but here lately I've noticed that I have sometimes it flows and I don't have to concentrate on what I'm doing, but other times, like yesterday, unless I concentrated and pictured what I was writing in my head before I did it, and I didn't do that yesterday. I didn't take the time to do that. My penmanship is just awful unless I really focus and concentrate on what I'm doing. Another way I can explain it, it's kind of like my hand is tired. Like I've been writing all day, but I haven't. And I can't get my hand to do what I want it to do, if that makes sense. It's like my hand, I've been writing on the chalkboard all day and or just writing letters all day, and my hand is achy, but it's not achy, That's the best way I can explain it. I can't get my hand to do what my brain is wanting it to do. Is the best way I can explain it, and like I said, unless I really concentrate on every letter that I'm writing, every word, and where I'm going with it, it's a struggle, and that was what I ran into yesterday. But today, it might be an entirely different situation. In spite of getting good rest and everything else, it just my handwriting. From one day to the next, I don't know what to expect with my handwriting. Today, it might be quite well. I might have great penmanship. It just depends on the day. Well, anyway, I started off the day with a double. Number one was for Tiffany. Tiffany wanted Starbucks on Fowler and 15th. I don't know that I've ever been to that particular Starbucks before. I don't remember the description of the road being at Fowler and 15th, so that may have been a new Starbucks for me, because restaurants don't typically change their profile and how their address shows up in the app. And I know I've never seen a Starbucks that says it was on Fowler and 15th, so for what that's worth. And then the second half was for Alice. Alice wanted Denny's on Fowler. They tipped me $6.08, and the fare was $3, so I made $9.08 on that double. And then my second trip was for Sarah. Sarah wanted La Bahia Bakery on Bears Avenue. Sarah gave me a good tip of $6. Thank you, Sarah, for that $6 tip. And thank you, Tiffany and Alice, for the $3 tip. I appreciate all three of you for that greatly. And then number 3 was for Courtney. Courtney tipped me $6 for her first watch pickup on McRae Road. And then when I get to her door, she gave me an additional $5 tip. So actually, she tipped me $11. Thank you greatly for that $11 tip, Courtney. I appreciate you. And then trip number 4 was for Emily. I didn't do as many doubles. I did more singles yesterday than I have done in a while. I think I had a double in Kenneth City. I did a pickup in Kenneth City. That was a double. And then all the other 3 that I did near the beaches, St. Petersburg and Clearwater, were all singles. And that Courier Saver is actually what sent me out to the beaches. That's what took me most of the way there, out to St. Petersburg. That Courier Saver number 15 is what got me out there, if I'm being honest. Then after Courtney's $5 cash tip, I went on to pick up the Bean Bar on Palm Point. That was my 4th trip for Emily. Emily gave me a nice tip of $7. Thank you, Emily, for the $7 tip. And then trip number 5 was for Casey. Casey wanted hole-in-one donuts on North Florida. Casey gave me a good tip of $4. Thank you for the $4 tip, Casey. I appreciate you. Then I went on to a double. Number 6 was a double for Daryl. Daryl wanted Girl in a Grill on North Nebraska, and Renee wanted La Segunda Bakery. They tipped me $11.20. Thank you for the $11.20 tip, Daryl and Renee. I appreciate that greatly. Then 7 was a double for Jane and Sean. Jane and Sean tipped me $11. Thank you for that $11 tip, Jane and Sean. I appreciate you. Jane wanted 301 Family Restaurant on Highway 301, and Sean wanted Dunkin' Donuts on MLK Boulevard, Martin Luther King Boulevard. Number 8 was a double. Autry and Melvin. Autry and Melvin tipped me $16. Thank you greatly for that generous tip. That was a very big tip. Appreciate that. Autry wanted Kiki Breakfast on West Brandon, and Melvin wanted IHOP on East Brandon. Then I went on my 9th trip, was for a single for Sam. Sam gave me a $4 tip. Thank you, Sam, for that $4 tip. Sam ordered Cracker Barrel on State Road 60. After Sam's drop-off, I went on to pick up another Kiki breakfast order on Brandon. This one was a double for Stan and Will. Stan and Will tipped me $4 for that. Thank you very much for that generous tip of $10. I appreciate you. I made a total of $14.50 on that double. Then I went on, after dropping off Will's Kiki breakfast, I went on to pick up food for Andy. Andy ordered McDonald's on Highway 301. Andy tipped me $7. I made $9 on his delivery. Thank you, Andy, for that $7 tip. I appreciate you. Number 12 was for another Andy. Back-to-back Andys. Andy wanted West Shore Pizza on Causeway Boulevard. He gave me a good tip of $6.50. Thank you for the $6.50 tip, Andy. I appreciate that. Then trip number 13 was for Mick. Mick wanted McDonald's on Highway 301. Mick gave me a decent tip of $4. Thank you for the $4 tip, Mick. I appreciate that. And then trip number 14 was a double. That was for Johnny. Johnny wanted Zaxby's on East Bay, and Steve wanted Lavelle Cuisine. First time I've ever been to Lavelle Cuisine before. Never been there before. That was on Highway 441. They tipped me $12, and I made $16 on that delivery. Thank you very much for the $12 tip, Steve and Johnny. I appreciate you. And then this is the one that got me out towards the beaches, St. Petersburg and Clearwater. This was a double. Tony wanted Uncle Joe's New York Diner on Highway 41. Then I had a Courier Saver. Tony tipped me $4, and the Courier Saver and the diner pickup gave me a fare of $12, so I made $16 on that. Thank you for the Courier Saver business. And thank you, Tony, for the pickup at the Uncle Joe's Diner. I appreciate the both of you. And then I did a pickup for Tiffany. And Tiffany and Aaron actually both ordered from Mellow Mushroom on Gulf to Bay Boulevard. They tipped me $6.90. Thank you for the $6 tip, Tiffany and Aaron. I appreciate that. And then the rest of these were number 17. I did 19 deliveries. 17 was for Patsy. Patsy wanted Pisano's Pizza and Pasta on 4th Street. Patsy tipped me $9. Thank you for the $9 tip. I appreciate that. And this was Michael. Michael wanted, this is my 18th trip, Michael wanted China One on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard. He tipped me $6.92. Thank you, Michael, for that. tip. I appreciate you greatly, Michael. And then my last run was for McCoy. McCoy wanted, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's going to be difficult to pronounce, but it was an Indian restaurant. La Jawab, Lajawab, La Jawab Indian cuisine on 54th for McCoy. McCoy tipped me $11.20. Thank you greatly for that tip, McCoy. That's very generous of you. Then I just, that was the extent of my deliveries yesterday. And then I had a long drive back to my part of town to my camper and to pick up that food. So I don't regret any of the deliveries yesterday, but if I had my preference, I prefer to stay in Tampa, Florida. I prefer to stay in Tampa, Florida. Temple Terrace area. I do quite well in those areas. Staying on Bush Boulevard, Highway 301. I do very good there. That's a great road. My part of Martin Luther King. Of course, Martin Luther King stretches through many parts of Tampa Bay, but my part of Martin Luther King Boulevard that I'm familiar with, I do very good there. So I do quite well in non-beach areas. So I don't need to drive down to the beach to make good money here. And I prefer to stay in my part of town. Well, I'm going to cut this video off and go in and get my coffee at the McDonald's across this way there. I want to wish you all well and hope you've had a great weekend so far. I've had a fantastic weekend. God bless you all, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.